and welcome to the PocketGamer.biz podcast Week in Mobile Games, where we discuss the week's news and provide some insights. I'm Craig Chapple, Head of Content at PocketGamer.biz. With me is our Deputy Editor, Paige Cook, and our News Editor, Aaron Astle. How you both doing? Paige, what you been up to?
Doing good, thank you. Nothing major to update on, which is a bit boring. I did me and my partner just binged watched a new show on Netflix. I think it's called His and Hers. It's kind of like a crime drama type thing. It was very good. It was, if you like crime stuff with lots of twists, then give that a watch. We really enjoyed it, and it didn't overstay its welcome. I think it was like 6 episodes. It was kind of like, oh, enjoyed it, and now it's done. It's not like one of those ones that goes on and on.
Yeah, that actually sounds
But yeah,
interesting.
other than that, yeah, nothing really gaming wise. I'm still really addicted to Arc Raiders, which I never suspected because I get bored of multiplayer stuff very quickly. But I don't know. Maybe I need like a new game to come out to take my interest. But yeah, for now, that's pretty much all I'm dabbling in.
So I've really bounced off Arc Raiders. I've not been back to it yet. The one I want to check out is Peak, which I bought.
Hmm.
But yeah, never really got into Arc Raiders.
Yeah, I remember you saying you tried it, but you just didn't really find it that fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm one of the only ones. If I was to quickly check the charts, it's the number 4 most played game on Steam right now, with current players 218,000 players. Peak today 300,000. So it's obviously I'm obviously wrong.
Yeah, like I said, usually it wouldn't be like multiplayer things. I can usually play it for like a week or so and then I'm bored and don't go back to it. But I don't know, can't really put my finger on what it is that I'm even enjoying so much. But yeah, it's definitely got its hooks in me, so yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's good times. Aaron, what have you been up to?
I have been watching a series called Pluribus, it is,
Yes.
with my dad, which we've both been enjoying. We just finished it, actually. So, yeah, that was good. My dad watched it without me, actually. And then, so I went to see him the other weekend. And he was like, I just watched this whole show, like, yesterday. And now you're going to watch it. And then he started watching it again with me. And then, yeah, we finished it a couple of days ago, which was, it was pretty good. I guess no big spoilers because it's still pretty new. But worth watching if anyone's not heard of it.
I loved that show. And the best thing is to go into it not knowing a single thing about it. Because I think if you know the premise, it ruins the initial stuff as well. So, I loved it. Brilliant show. I got one of my friends into it as well. I was like, you should check this out. And he watched it. He was like, yeah, I love it as well.
Yeah, I also binge watched that one. I think I watched it like over the holidays. But yeah, really, really good.
The most unspoiler thing I can say is a non-spoiler thing I can say. It's just that it's just different to what you kind of watch on TV. So, and in a good way.
Yeah, and I think even without going into it, like even if you think you've worked it out in the first episode, like it feels like it's going to go in one direction, and it is more unique than it may be.
Yeah, I think that happens quite a lot, I would say, as well. Yeah, very good.
And other than that, game-wise, so I finished Pokemon ZA a few weeks ago, so I've gone right back and started playing Pokemon Yellow for the first time. I played Red when I was about 16, but I thought, revisit Gen 1. It's a little bit overrated, but, I'm having fun with it.
I mean, things have changed since then.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
It's like 30 years of...
Yeah. I think one of the hardest things is the item limits, like that you can't just keep everything. Even like, so I just, because you can only hold, I've not counted how many items it is, but like I very quickly just ditched the map because it's like, well, I want to be able to hold potions and Pokeballs and TMs and stuff. Now it's reached a point where I'm just having to throw away TMs that I don't want to teach to anyone to make room to pick up a new thing. And then
you can put them in the computer.
That fills up as well. So, yeah, I did do that for a little bit. But, so it's made me appreciate the modern games a bit more.
I bet there's a meme about this, right? This is like everyone in an RPG gets upset, like, oh, I can't carry anymore. But like, if it was in real life, you'd just be carrying this truck. Oh, I can't believe I can't have any more stuff. Of 100 potions I'm never going to use. Thanks, Aaron. As for myself, I actually went ice skating at the weekend. It was very cold, obviously, but I had a very good time. And then other things that I've been doing, I watched Knives Out, the Wake Up Dead Man. I really did. I want to say I think I really liked it. It is very good. It was a bit different from the others, but it's the same kind of thing. I hope there's more. It feels like it might be the last one for now, but I hope there's more to come, especially from Rian Johnson. If he wants to do Star Wars, I wouldn't complain, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Then I've been watching Fallout as well. I think it's really good, and I quite like the stupid stories that are kind of happening. I actually think it's kind of quite fun. I haven't watched this week's one yet, but yeah, I'm looking forward to where it all goes. It's a fun little series. And I actually think I said this. Sorry, I actually think I said this a couple of weeks ago. But I played the most recent new game I played was Dispatch, which I did really enjoy. Yeah, that was very good. The story's great. The gameplay is kind of minimal. That was fine, but that sort of just services the story. Some of your decisions do actually matter as well, which is interesting. I had one ending. I need to watch the others, but it can definitely go down different paths, and it's not something you can just kind of fix. Like once you've made a decision, you've kind of made it. So that was cool. I also played a bit of Pixel Flow, which I think we talked about last week, which is a really cool new game. Definitely want to check that out. It's already launched 3 months ago. It's already making millions each month. So yeah, really good game.
Just before we came on this call, I didn't get time to look at it properly, but I saw that I think it's Amazon maybe, are doing like a Fallout reality TV show. I think it's like called Fallout Shelter or something, like kind of Squid Game like people go into the shelters and they have to like do competition type stuff. I'd literally saw it just before we came on. I was like, what, is this real? So
it's breaking news page.
Yeah.
What the hell? What is this?
Well, yeah, I didn't get time to look at it properly. At first, I was like, I didn't even know if it was real, but then I saw it had been reported on somewhere else, so I think it is.
The trend of turning dystopian drama series into reality competition continues. This is Deadline. Amazon has handed a green light to Fallout Shelter, a series based on its Ella Purnell-fronted drama. The project comes from Studio Lambert, the company behind Netflix's Squid Game: The Challenge. But then it's going to be a 10-part series based on the game, set inside the Vault-Tec's bomb-proof vaults. A group of contestants take part in escalating challenges, strategic dilemmas, and moral crossroads as they chase a cash prize. I wonder if, like, in the background, they're all part of an experiment. Surely that has to be like.
Yeah, you would think so, because all of the vaults have an experiment, right? So
yeah. So hopefully that's kind of a weird, fun part of it. It should feel quite weird and funny to watch.
Yeah,
right? That's kind of the. Oh wow, okay, that's pretty cool. I can't see a release date. It's just been greenlit, so yeah, that's pretty exciting. So transmedia, here we go. Which I guess brings us on nicely. We'll do a few shout outs before we get into the news and a certain event happening next week. So. Actually, speaking of that event, so Pocket Gamer Connects London, January 19th to 20th. So that's coming thick and fast. Be a few days away once this podcast goes live. Still, obviously, a chance to register for a ticket. Definitely come. It's going to be our biggest. It might just be our biggest show ever. It certainly feels that way at the moment. London's always the big show of the year, and so I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. And obviously, we'll have the Transmedia Summit on January 20th. So obviously, please do come down for that as well. We've got we've got actors, we've got people kind of making films there. It's going to be a great show. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. But as well as London, we have loads of other events coming up this year. So we have the Pocket Gamer Connect Summit San Francisco on March 9th. The Dubai Game Expo Summit, powered by PG Connects, May 20th to 21st. We're going to Malmo on May 27th, Barcelona June 15th, 16th, Shanghai July 30th, going back to Helsinki for October 13th and 14th for a slightly rebranded Pocket Gamer Connects Nordics. Bangkok, October 27th, and in November we'll be in Jordan, and in December we should be at the Canary Islands. It's a pretty packed year of events. So if for some reason you can't make London, hopefully you can make one of those various shows that we have. And not to forget, we'll be doing the Mobile Games Awards again as well this year. Right, so we're going to kick off. We're just going to do a few highlights for what to expect at Pocket Gamer Connects London and what we're looking forward to. Mine's going to be pretty brief, but I mean, there's so much to look forward to. We're expecting up to about 3,000 industry professionals at the show, so it's going to be great. A lot of those are actually, we worked out, like kind of C-level. There's a lot of development and publishers there. There'll obviously be a bunch of investors. I think on Investor Connector, which is where investors meet developers and maybe some other games companies. Best of luck for anyone looking for a deal at the show. The things that I'm most looking forward to are one, just meeting people. That's like the thing I love the most, and just learning different things, just networking. And then I've got I think we kick off the show with some fantastic talk. So we have Chris James, CEO of Still Media. He'll be kind of introducing and kind of setting the scene for the 2 days. And then after that, I've got a fireside chat with Arcadia Gaming Partners' Akin Babiyeget, and he was formerly at Triple Dot. Bloomberg called him the mobile gaming kingpin when he was setting up Arcadia Gaming Partners. We gave him the Mobile Legend Awards at the Mobile Games Awards last year. Akin's connected with a lot of the industry and knows a lot about it. So that's, again, kind of a really good start to the show. And then after that, we've got the Video Games Council. So we'll have Nick Paul from Yuki, Don Orlowski from Chucklefish, Saad Choudhury from Miniclip, Emily Bailey from Jekko, and Nick Button-Brown from the Games Angels. And that's going to be a Q&A with the newly formed Video Games Council. So that is definitely one to attend, particularly for people in the UK games industry. And then we've got Sensor Tower kicking off, I guess, the state of the gaming industry. So there'll be a lot of data there. And then the last one I'll say on that is just after that, Chris James will be speaking to Duolingo's Simon Haid, who obviously was one of the co-founders of Space Ape Games. So it's going to be, that's just the start. And there are, I think, we've got something like 310 speakers at the show. It's going to be loads. And lastly, two more things. I'll be doing a fireside chat with Stillfront CEO Alexis Bonte, and a lot of that is about direct-to-consumer, which is one of the big trends. That's kind of the perennial trend of the past 2 years, probably, that I'm looking forward to learning about more. And then the other thing is UGC. We do have a track for that, and there will be other people kind of talking about that. And that I'm really looking forward to that, because that is a sector that there's still not that much knowledge on, even though it's perhaps one of the largest segments of the industry at the moment, specifically with Fortnite and Roblox. And we'll be starting a newsletter, hopefully in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited. Paige, anything you're in particular looking forward to?
I suppose just a little bit in general, just with PGC London, I always just find that it's the perfect show to have in January, because I feel like a lot of people feel this way, but I feel like January is in general a bit of a tough month for some people, whether it's just in general work-wise, but you have sort of the holidays, and then you've got that getting back into the swing of things. And I know it's our show, so it sounds a bit cliche, but genuinely, I do just feel like it's a great show in the sense of it helps get your start. It just gets off to a great start of things. It gets you really excited about the industry. You get to kind of reconnect with everyone, see a lot of people in person, meet new people. So I think for me, yeah, it's a lot. I tend to focus more on sort of the networking side, when I'm there, obviously because of work. So I don't always get to go into as many sessions, but yeah, for me, it's a lot of the networking stuff that I enjoy. Just sometimes the spontaneous conversations that happens, they happen to be the best ones. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There are some talks and stuff I'm looking forward to as well. You mentioned a couple in your bit, and definitely the transmedia stuff, it being a bigger show, as having 2 venues. I feel that's crazy that there's going to be 2 whole buildings to go through. I'm really looking forward to the transmedia summit. I'll be on stage on one of the days, but just sort of compare hosting. And then on the other day, I am hosting a fireside chat with Contours about how they transform from a games company to a transmedia superstar. So I'm going to be chatting on stage about that, which I'm looking forward to. I did my first fireside chat last year. And it went well, so I actually quite enjoyed it. The 20 minutes goes very quickly, so I've got plenty of questions planned and hopefully make that a good, insightful talk. I also saw on LinkedIn, this is not this is just very random, but I saw that Charlie put that the guy, Tom McKay, that voices Henry from Kingdom Come Deliverance is there. That's very cool. So I just feel like there's going to be lots going on. Very excited for the transmedia stuff. And also seeing you guys. I feel like that'll be nice because we work from home. We don't actually get to see each other very often. And I know we're so busy during the show. I think last year when I finally saw you, Aaron, we were like, oh, it's been 2 days and I haven't seen you.
Yeah, it was after the event had ended by the time.
Yeah, I think it was the end of day 2. And we just saw each other in the lobby and we were like, oh, hello. Yeah, we literally had
Nice to see you here.
But yeah, obviously in the evening sometimes we get we have a team meal and stuff. So yeah, it'll be nice to see you guys in person as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to actually making it to the event this year.
Yeah.
After last year's fiasco. For those who don't know, I just got very ill. I tried my best to be at the show. I actually did travel down, and then immediately when I was in London, I was like, this is a huge mistake.
Yeah, I remember you saying you had actually travelled down.
Proceeded to be ill for 3 weeks. All right, thanks, Paige. Aaron, what about you? Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to
Yeah.
this year?
So I guess kind of the opposite of Paige in one way, that I'm usually the one who's in the talks, running from room to room, trying to choose the most interesting looking, seminar to write about. But this year, I'm going to be kind of interviewing a couple of people, and so I think that'll be kind of a new, approach to the event for me, of actually like speaking to people while I'm there instead of just quietly in the corner typing away the whole time. Obviously, in the evenings, it's all be going out to the event, party type things. But yeah, actually, like during the bit at the brewery, I think that's going to be new, of actually chatting to people. So that should be quite nice. And yeah, obviously seeing you both. And that'll be 2 years then since last saw you, which is crazy. That's gone way too quick.
Yeah, so plenty to look forward to. And as I say, as we all said, really, one of the main things, just looking forward to kind of seeing everybody from the industry at the show, learning a bit more about what's going on, and just catching up, meeting new people. It's going to be great. 2 days, lots of networking events in the evenings. So I've got plenty of parties these days. The event's kind of grown quite a lot, so we're pretty proud of that, pretty happy with that. And yeah, hopefully it all goes to plan Monday and Tuesday. I'm sure it always does. But yeah, looking forward to it. Right, so after all that self-promotion, we're going to jump into some news. I'll try and go through it fairly quickly in my one, but some negative news to start with, I guess, is Playtika plans to reduce its headcount by 15%. This was first reported by Calculus Tech, and it was also in an SEC filing. Is it SEC filing? Wherever they're public. A public filing, and that could affect around 500 employees, or just over 450. Apparently, it could cost about 12 to 15 million to do that. Playtika employs somewhere between 3,000 to 3,500. This is a very significant cut. I guess 500 would be 3,500. Anyway, very kind of deep cuts. They're not, Playtika does this. Has done it before. They've closed some studios, or they've folded in like acquisitions back into the kind of the Israel HQ, like they did with Seriously and Best Fiends. I think they did it to a degree with Redecor last year. They laid off a few people on the Wooga team that were working on, I forget the name of the game. Apologies, but they were working on a game there that got cancelled. And then, so some of the reasons, so the CEO in an email sent to employees said it was a fundamental shift in how the firm operates. Said, for years, we operated with a broad growth mindset, applying similar resource models across our portfolio of games. The economic reality of our industry has shifted. If we do not adjust our cost structure today, we compromise our ability to invest in tomorrow. We cannot afford to resource mature titles by historical levels while simultaneously trying to build a new future. By right-sizing our investments across our portfolio, we unlock the resources needed to fund our high potential games. And the interesting bit, which is perhaps the real part of what they're getting at, is they're moving away from headcount heavy operations to streamlined teams powered by AI and automation. Which is really interesting. And they mentioned there a few things about also kind of new games, live games. Playtika, I feel like, isn't a company that often releases hit new games. They usually buy them. 500 layoffs is quite interesting timing when not that long ago they spent $2 billion on Superplay, which is doing just fine. Like Disney Solitaire was straight away a hit for them. And if I was quickly look, it's still doing very well. It's net revenue last, according to AppMagic, in December, $10.6 million. So yeah, it's doing very, very successful. I guess it's quite an interesting reflection of, well, I don't know. There could be many number of reasons why these layoffs are actually occurring, but it is part of it is at least an interesting reflection on the impact of that AI is having on the industry. Whether that is Playtika has seen, okay, we've seen it working for some of our studios. Now we're going to slash staff and kind of replace them. Or it's just, I've wrote about this before, is it just like the hype and potential of it that they feel sure that it will make a difference, and maybe it won't. Some of this also that part could also just be a bit of PR bluster. to be honest, to kind of hype up investors. Oh, they're investing in AI. But yeah, that was an interesting one. So, shout out obviously to all the people affected by that. Paige, what have you got?
I'm going to switch around what I was going to talk about and lead with more bad news since it's a similar topic, layoffs. So yeah, I was just going to speak a little bit about Ubisoft, who have recently laid off 29 staff at its Abu Dhabi studio. And the details seem to originally sort of come, as we often get these things, LinkedIn posts to people that were affected by layoffs, and then Ubisoft ended up confirming it. Some projects were cancelled, and they did say that it was sort of to refocus on Growtopia, which is like the MMO game. Obviously, this also follows recently the closure of Ubisoft Halifax in Canada. So I think it was 71 employees lost their jobs there. Ubisoft have kind of said, the usual stuff we expect. So it's company-wide cost cutting and, restructuring and things like that. But I don't know, over the last few years, we've had so many layoff stories, and I feel like we've had Ubisoft layoff stories specifically a lot as well. And you do just kind of have to wonder, like, when is this going to end? And if you're saying it's a restructuring and it's a cost cutting thing, well, when does that come to an end? Like, what is the goal? Where is it that you feel that all of your teams and all of your studios are now working in a viable size? They've all got the right projects, the team sizes are all correct. Because I just feel like to be a Ubisoft employee right now, it must be a little bit scary, to be honest with you, because it just keeps happening, be it a few layoffs here or entire studios, entire projects. So yeah, just more bad news, unfortunately. Yeah, I do worry about the state of Ubisoft and what comes next for them. Like, is this the end of layoffs? I would like to say yes, but it wouldn't shock me if we see more from them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. And this obviously comes after the Ubisoft massive layoffs not that long ago. And then, like you say, all the other ones that unfortunately there have been. I mean, if when I'm looking at like the Halifax, this maybe not so much the massive ones, but the Ubisoft massive one. But like, I guess they've got this big investment from Tencent, which was $1.25 billion. They also now owe Tencent a 25% royalty on their top IPs, and so as much as they got this cash injection, they also have to now give out money to this other publisher, and they're focusing on certain IPs, so they're probably focusing on certain platforms. So then, if I look at things like Growtopia, maybe unfortunately that just doesn't fit in with what this new structure that they have, which looks like it's to keep the Guillemets in control, and maybe that's all been a detriment to the company. I mean, you could argue originally why were they doing all these different things and not focusing. It's another topic, but yeah, I think there's some of the reasons, like Ubisoft Halifax. I was working on mobile stuff. Maybe they just thought, well, we don't. Well, okay, there's two things on that, right? Maybe they thought, well, one, we don't need to be doing that because we want to focus elsewhere, and secondly, obviously, with that one, maybe that's slightly unique in that they unionized and then immediately all got laid off. Immediately the studio was closed, so maybe that's its own thing. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, more layoffs. I've got one more story myself. If I can find the document, I've got a story. So we updated our January 2026 movers and shakers article, which is the jobs roundup basically. And also there was one in particular that was interesting. So there's been a number of layoffs at Meta Reality Labs, and I think they were going to cut. Meta said it was going to cut 10% of staff, and it employs around 15,000 people in that division. That was reported by the New York Times. So what's interesting about that is this company, Facebook, renamed itself to Meta because it was so all in on virtual reality, and then now like it's almost like the bottom's fallen out of the people. People disagree with me, I think, on that. But like, it's not. It still feels like it's very far away from being mass market. Maybe AR glasses will become the thing, and we'll see. But VR specifically, not so much. But as part of those layoffs, the global head of developer relations, Alyssa Brown, was laid off. She's been working there since 2020 when it was Oculus. She said, as you've no doubt heard, Meta did some deep cuts. She was part of it. Meta prides itself on moving quickly and operating in ambiguity. I have no doubt that anyone who spends some amount of time at the company is more than ready to tackle difficult problems in emerging spaces and create something beautiful. But in terms of her departure, and departures of everyone really, but like of and some others. I'm just curious what the future is for Reality Labs, because if you're getting rid of your global head of developer relations, that doesn't give a good signal to the industry that you're serious about having developers make stuff for your platform. And that wouldn't be a very future looking redundancy either. I guess I don't know all the ins and outs. Maybe other parts of the company are sort of dealing with this. I don't know. I don't have that information. But on the face of it, it feels a bit like not a how do I phrase it? It doesn't look good, I guess, for the future of Reality Labs. I guess in particular, maybe like the consumer facing stuff, but we'll see. And then another one was Larry Major Nelson who used to be at Xbox for over 2 decades. He has been laid off from Unity. He was their director of community and advocacy. That's quite a surprising one, because that's obviously a big name senior hire there, and that just comes back to there's been a lot of layoffs. Unity is particularly been struggling, but then this guy kind of comes in and tries to help raise the reputation of Unity, which that work still needs to be done. Like whatever they say, however they say it's been repaired. You can have the CEO shaking hands with Tim Sweeney on stage all you like, but like that work needs to continue. So again, that's just another one to watch. Curious about that one. And then yeah, there's loads of other kind of hires and departures. Check out the article. Paige, what have you got?
Yeah, a quick one from me. It's kind of it's like this is a new part to this every week, but it's more on the Paramount, Warner Bros, Netflix deal. So we ran a story last week that Warner Bros had basically rejected an amended offer from Paramount, and the board was pretty unanimous. The message was quite clear that they simply just preferred the Netflix deal and see that as the better offer. And now things have kind of escalated, and Paramount are taking legal action. So they filed a lawsuit against Warner Bros. And the general thing around it is to sort of force more disclosure around the terms and more of a financial analysis of what the Netflix deal and their bid actually is. Paramount is saying that their cash offer is actually superior and it would face like less hurdles with regulations. So yeah, they've gone ahead and filed this lawsuit. I don't know about that as a tactic. I suppose you make an offer, it gets rejected. You make another, it gets rejected. So then you just like, well, let's sue them. They say that it's kind of, it is to open these discussions, and it's not like this, like this malicious thing. It is to keep conversations open and keep things all very transparent. But yeah, I can't help but see it as like it's a very bold move if your offer gets rejected and then you sue them. I'm not sure about that as a business tactic, but I guess maybe it'll work. We'll see. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what the next part of this is. It does seem like either way, this deal is going to get a lot more complicated before we see any actual end results of it. They're obviously fighting very hard, even though they've kind of stated they're very happy with what the Netflix deal is. But yeah, I guess we see what happens in terms of this lawsuit. I don't know if I can recall another story like this. I don't know if you guys can think of anything where they've made offers, it's been rejected, so they're just like, okay, to court in this kind of way, where they're kind of saying, it's to open discussions. Like, I don't know if I would feel that way about it.
I can't think of off the top of my head. I'm sure it's happened.
It probably has, but yeah, definitely. When I saw this story, I was like, that's a move.
I can think of like battles and regulatory stuff, like with Activision Blizzard, Microsoft, and there's more of a battle between Unity and AppLovin to buy Iron Source, which AppLovin's probably pretty happy it didn't at this point. No offense to the team there, it's just the trajectories both companies have gone on, more referring to since then. I can't think of a similar situation.
Well,
it is a hostile takeover. Let's not forget. There's no friends here. Like, they want it. And to say stuff I don't know about, I'd just be guessing and I have no insights is pretty stupid. But like, I guess like if you do this and keep trying to delay, get more information out, creates a bit more. Even Netflix has to up its offer, so it's going to up. Apparently, it's going to change it to an all cash offer, and then it just creates a bit more trouble, a bit more debate around it, and then maybe that leads to later. These are Trump's friends ultimately at Paramount. So Paramount Skydance. So maybe down the line, it gets sort of a bit more political involved. So It's probably maybe it's a move to that end. I have no idea. But yeah, they want it. They think their offer is superior. Warner Brothers has said kind of some of the reasons why. I think some of it was debt. There's too much debt on it. They're not sure about, I guess, the future of parts of the company. And whereas Netflix's offer is apparently just a bit more clear about what they're going to do, and then part of the company will spin off. Yeah, we've spoken about it before. I just don't know. I just don't know what part of the games business plays in all of this, and if someone could buy that, I don't see any use for Netflix. Despite people talking about the transmedia stuff, the fact that this co-CEO Greg Peters said basically they assigned no value to the games business in a massive deal when the games business is worth more than nothing. It says a lot about what they think of it. And for Paramount, I guess they do have the Skydance interactive stuff, so maybe, but also it's not part of their plans, surely. Anyway, another one to be like, we'll see how that goes this year. If you want to learn more about transmedia, head on down to Pocket Gamer Connects London. We've got the Transmedia Summit January 20th. Or if you don't care about transmedia, you hate it, you can come to the show anyway. We're doing plenty more at Pocket Gamer Connects London, so hopefully we'll see everyone there. Right. That brings us to the end of the show. Thank you both. Thank you, Aaron, for all your insights today. Paige, thank you so much for being on the show again. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing all of you that are listening / watching the show. We'll see you soon. If we don't see you there, hopefully we'll see you at another event soon. And please do listen in on next week's show. We'll talk about what we learned at PGC. All right. Have a good weekend, everyone. Goodbye.